Hello and welcome. I think it is time for another Will You Snell development live stream, and today we're gonna build the underwater boss fight. If you have any ideas what we could do with that, let me know. I'm still open for ideas. But over the course of this live stream, I guess we'll figure something out. And one thing also very important to mention is I'll focus on the gameplay first. So we'll make the boss look really crappy and stupid at the beginning, and I think it makes more sense to worry about the visuals after that, because once we know what the boss needs to do, then it is a lot easier to figure out how we want to animate this and how we want to make it look. Okay, so I have a rough idea. As long as nobody's in chat giving ideas, I'll just get started by creating a nice octopus. How big do we want it to be? The sprite probably doesn't need to be too big because we can still scale it up in different ways. Okay. Not entirely sure how well all of this will work, but guess it's gonna be fine. We'll figure it out. Maybe that's more or less the base shape of the body of an octopus. And then it will probably get the arms somewhere down here. Hey Gabriel, Zappar Dark soon. Welcome to designing the boss fight. I don't have decided on any attacks yet. So if you have ideas for stuff the boss could do, feel free to drop them in the chat. My initial idea so far is to have a giant octopus chasing you, and you have to kill it before you get cornered. So it will be a vertical level, and the boss will push you further and further to the side, and you need to destroy it before you reach the end of the level. That's more or less the base idea, but there's still a lot of room for other ideas and for GameMaker crashes, so let's start all over again. Very nice, very nice. Apparently GameMaker did not like the way I painted that sprite. It's too ugly! Make it stop! Oh, if I got my costume! How could I do that? Right, GameMaker noticed that I didn't have a costume. Here. Very stylish new trend that I just came up with. Now in the Jonas fan shop for only 99 bucks. Purchase now. Okay, what was the size of that? 200, I think. Oh geez, I hope this doesn't fall down. Oh, and I need to change the camera, otherwise it's gonna be a little awkward if I keep coding like that for half an hour. Here we go. So which attacks could this octopus have? Do you have any ideas? Need to be careful not to move my head too much. And then I already said that earlier, but nobody was in chat earlier, so I will focus mostly on the gameplay first and then worry about visuals and animations later. So this will just be a very boring looking octopus, I guess, because it makes a lot more sense to figure out the gameplay first, and then we kind of know what we need for the gameplay. Yeah, then it's just a lot easier to do the visuals. Otherwise, we run the risk of having to redo some of the animations. And we obviously don't want that. Okay, so this will be a little bit of a weird octopus, but who cares? And then obviously all of this is supposed to be animated, the eyes are supposed to move and all of that. But for now, let's just keep it simple and implement the gameplay first. And as I've said, if you have any ideas for gameplay and attacks this squid octopus thingy could do, then let me know. Okay, collision mask looks more or less fine. Wanna switch to manual anyway. Make it maybe just a tiny bit smaller. Like this. Okay, a little tricky. I kind of want to keep it as a box, but then these corners here are a little annoying. Let's just call him Water Boss and create a new object. And I think this will be the first boss that actually has an HP bar. He forgot the costume, Unzap. No, please, no. Could you elaborate on the water boss? Do you have any specific questions on the water boss? All I've got so far is that you have to kill it before you reach the end of the level, and it will sort of move sideways. So you're kind of on a timer to destroy it. That's all I got so far. What the hell does he have on his head this time? It's a very new trend. Okay, so I think first of all, I'll just make this follow a path or something, I guess. Path equals... Yeah, let's create a new path for the boss. Path. Create path. Water boss. Okay, we actually don't need to do it like this. We can just start it right away by saying path. Start. Then we first of all specify the path and the speed. The end action, so what it does when you reach the end of the path. I'll just say stop. Absolute, no. Oh, yes. Here we go. And then we'll also say HP equals 1000, HP max equals HP. That will allow us to draw an HP bar or something like that somewhere on the screen. Maybe we'll do that in draw GUI. And then we can just use the draw health bar function. Let's just get the GUI width and height real quick. And then for the HP bar, we should be able to do something. Where do we want the HP bar to be? Maybe at the top, right? That would make sense. So width minus 10 and 50. Amount will be HP divided by HP max times 100. Background color. Let's just start with some random colors. Object levels dialer.cal. Oh, we could use the AI color for that. No. That looks probably a bit too ugly. Let's use the traps color. Okay, so now we should be able to see the HP of the boss. And now whenever we hit the boss with one of our projectiles from the shooter minigame, the HP minus equal to 10, and with other do instance destroy. And then we probably also want to play a sound. Let's copy that part real quick from our mini game shooter, one of the enemies. Here. That we want to play that sound effect. Very nice. And now let's start designing that level and giving it a first test run, and then maybe it's gonna be a little easier to imagine what else we want to have in the boss fight. Hey. Here might be frustrating to replay the level when it's long. Yeah, I'll actually try to make it relatively short. I had that same thought. If it's a very long level, I don't want to replay all of that. I'll definitely try to make it shorter than 1 minute if possible. 30 seconds is probably even enough. Unicorn said you can surf on an epic unicorn ship. How does that help the gameplay? It sounds like a fun idea. Jaleko, you're working on a new video? Cool. Let us know when it's out. I'll check it out if I can. Alright, you're making a video about WoWie Gem. Definitely will check that out. And Antikyr Games is working on his/her game. Cool. Maybe I can give the snail a shotgun for double jumps. I'm not entirely sure if you're joking or not, because that's the kind of game you made in the WoWie Game Jam, right? Okay, that puzzle is already finished, so I can remove this weird XXX from the title, which I used to mark levels that are not finished yet. Underwater boss fight. Here we go. C14. And I'll make both the player as well as the octopus start somewhere here. Relatively centered, I guess. And once again, we already had a bit of an argument about that yesterday, right? That these really big blocks look a little ugly. And I think I'll definitely get rid of them. Just for blocking these levels out, it's more useful to do it this way, because I can create levels faster. Okay, and then on the spikes layer, let's put our boss. I wonder where the pivot of that one is. I think I put it at the very bottom, right? Yes, okay. Very good. So let's try not to make this level too long. Something between 1 minute and 30 seconds should be totally fine. Okay, this looks pretty reasonable. So in the first half, let's sort of keep this tunnel structure, and then at the end of the level we can open it up a little bit. And maybe you need to go. Oh, we already reached the end of the level. Okay, then I guess need to switch things around a little bit. Okay. What I'm thinking about with the placement of these blocks here is where the enemy will go. Needs to be enough space to traverse through that. Okay. That looks pretty decent. One thing I forgot is we also need to set the color of that enemy, otherwise it will look a little weird. That's one thing for the visuals we can do really quick. Alarm equal to 1. And then we'll set image blend to object level styler dot cal traps. Okay. You hope this is not poo? Well, I have to disappoint you, as it is poo. Jonas needs help. Yes, with this boss fight. What will we do with this boss fight? Let's check out how this level looks and feels and plays so far. And then we can try to come up with something. Okay, that was the first boss fight. Let's go to the next boss fight, which should come after this level, yes. Alright, there's one important thing I forgot, and that is putting a gun in here. Boss. Okay. Okay, I think I'm pretty happy with the length of this level. Like, it's pretty short. So far, definitely feels like you can kill this boss on time. But that's obviously because there are no obstacles yet. Once the boss starts defending himself, it's gonna be a little harder. I'm not entirely happy with that HP bar up there. I think it should probably be closer to the actual boss. That would probably make it a little easier. For most bosses, I use Bounce Ball AI. What is that? Making paths in Game Maker Studio 2 is not hard. That's not something you need to learn. Everybody uses Game Maker. I think most people who make indie games use Unity. I think Unity is the most popular platform. But there are definitely a lot of people using Game Maker as well. True. You should do a cheat shortcut to the current level. Oh yeah, I should, I should absolutely do that. That is a little annoying that I have to skip so many levels every time. Luckily, once we are in the correct level, that level is saved. We only need to do that one time at the beginning when you want to find the correct level. So that's not that bad. Mr. Water Boss, let's let's try drawing that somewhere else. Y minus 180. That HP bar directly over the head better. Let's have a look. HP bar, the boss fight. Fight the invisible monster. I know that boss doesn't look very impressive. I know. Gameplay first, visuals later. Feel like we need a slightly different color for the background of the HP bar. Col bar equals col back equals. Let's clean this up a little bit. Call bar and call back. Okay. Next thing we have to do is to implement some cool attacks. Basic gameplay is done. We can run away and destroy the boss. What's the problem? Maybe I should have read. Here. I used a capital B bar in the back. At the moment it's still possible to go to the other side of that octopus here. That is not supposed to be possible later on, so I'll find a solution for that. I'll try to block the way with the tentacles. That will probably be the most obvious solution. Just for the sake of prototyping this gameplay out, let's actually code that you can't go to the other side. Object, where's our player? Here, player. When you collide with the water boss, you die. Very nice. And here we'll just say if object player dot x is smaller than our own x minus 50 or something like that. Maybe I should have copied that. Okay. So now we shouldn't be able to touch it anymore, and we shouldn't be able to go on the other side of it. when I touch it.
You've
Okay.
got to try harder than this.
Yeah. Huh? With object player do. That makes a bit more sense. Will there be another Wowie gem? Yes, of course. We'll do another one. Just not all that soon.
This never gets old. OMG.
Oopsie doopsie. One thing we absolutely need to do is to reset that enemy. So in my room reset script with object water boss do we'll set it to its start position. HP will be set to HP max. We'll have full health again. Path position 0, path speed 0. And then it will only start moving once the player starts moving, otherwise that would be a little unfair. So if object AI general dot enabled will set path speed to 3. You just played the winter demo of the game and you think the AI is cool. That is very nice to hear. Glad to hear that. Thank you very much for checking it out. I'll try my best to keep it up.
Oh, what a desperate attempt.
Okay, so now it restarts properly and the enemy only starts moving when I start moving. That is a lot better. Now literally all that's left to do in terms of gameplay is to give the squid some very mean attacks. That's literally the only thing left to do. And then after that we can start worrying about the visuals, how we want this boss to look like.
Not even close.
Oh, by the way, is the in-game sound a little too loud? Can you still understand me? Let me tone it down a little bit. Is it the new boss, Darky? Yes, it's the new boss. Antique Gear Games agrees that the Christmas demo was awesome. Yes, I'll definitely try to make the final game even better. Thank you, thank you. I feel flattered. So brainstorming time. What could we do for the attacks of the octopus? Go on, throw in a couple of oh jeez. GameMaker doesn't like it. Hey Fabian. Welcome, welcome. So let's have a quick look once again at how the level looks, and then tell me what you want the enemy to do. Should it shoot projectiles? Should it dash towards you? Should it spawn enemies? Like, which kind of attacks are usually the most fun to play against in boss fights? That's what I'm wondering about. What I know is that a lot of people do not like when boss enemies spawn little enemies that you have to fight against as well. For some reason, some people don't like that, and I kind of get it, because if you have a boss fight, you want to fight the boss and not some random little creatures you fought before. So maybe we can find a way to give the attacks directly to our boss and not to make it spawn enemies. I think that would feel a little better. Another crash, no. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I really hope the frequency isn't increasing too much. I think I've never had such a big project in GameMaker ever before, so that is... I'm not sure, maybe we're reaching the limits, you know? We have, like, if I create an object now, what is the number? It says object 235. So that means I have already more than 200 objects probably. We might be reaching the limits here. But luckily I saved, so all of that work is still here. The most basic thing I can think of is it could just shoot projectiles at you. It could just be a little bit of a bullet hell game or something. That would be the most basic thing I can come up with. By the way, how long is this boss fight at the moment?
Bracket, not clothing bracket, making humanity proud XD.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, so we're still under 20 seconds, so I think we can give the player maybe a little bit more time to make the boss fight a little more climatic. Felt a little short, but okay, maybe I'll change my mind again once it starts shooting projectiles in all directions. We'll see. It could attack with its tentacles. Which kind of attacks would it do with its tentacles, Gear Wheel? How exactly could that work? Will it punch towards you with them? Will it just rotate wildly so the tentacles are flying in all directions and kind of smashing you against walls? You save every 10 seconds. Yeah, in GameMaker saving doesn't take all that long, so it's definitely worth it to abuse that save button a little bit. Or he can throw ink at you and limit your movement. I like that. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Okay. So maybe we should add the tentacles. Oops. I mean, for a octopus boss fight, it probably makes sense if the tentacles are part of the boss fight. So what do you think makes more sense? If the head is facing this direction or this direction? Tentacles over here or tentacles here in the direction of the player? Like this makes a little more sense because you can see what you have to shoot at, what the weak spot is. And then this probably looks a little more threatening. I think we'll do it this way, otherwise what are you shooting at? Gonna be too easy. And of course, if it's facing this way, we have to probably adjust the path a little bit. I want to destroy this point. Yes, thank you. Okay. Let's do tentacles. Woo! Okay. I'm a little curious how exactly we'll make that work. Because ideally, I would like them to consist of multiple pieces. Just like that. That could be a part of a tentacle. Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out, I guess. Let's also fix the collision masks real quick, because we need to choose rectangle with rotation, otherwise collision will be a little weird. Also, the collision mask of this is pretty off. Needs to look more like this. And I want the pivot to be somewhere down here. Okay. Oops, why do I create that object again if it already exists? So that will require a bit of coding magic. Or spawn water flows to push you? Yeah, we could do that as well. You joined the Discord, then welcome to the Discord. Music devlogs, music and devlogs. Antique Games, you also just joined a couple of days ago. Cool. Yeah, Discord is getting bigger and bigger. Okay. So we want these to be stackable. So let's say this is part 1. And then we'll have a parent and a child. And then here an event user 0 will do instance create layer x, y. For the layer, we'll go for traps. And we'll just spawn another one of these tentacle pieces. Stuff like that is a lot easier in Unity. That's definitely a little more annoying to make this work in GameMaker. But it will look cool once we've got it up and running. Maybe we can get it up during this live stream. So that will be the child. And then we'll set child.parent to this object. And then with child do event user 0. Child.part equals part plus 1. Okay. So this is basically the create tentacle function. Let's just name this so I know what this is later on. And now we need the update tentacle function. Or duplicate event. Event user 1. So this will be update tentacle. Which means we'll set child dot x equal to x plus length dir x. And the length of that sprite, as far as I can remember, is about 200. So let's do a little less than that, 160, something like that. In direction image angle. And one thing I should definitely do, just otherwise it's gonna get way too confusing, is to rotate the sprite image rotate. And then put the pivot over here. Adjust the collision box a little bit. Okay. 460 plus image angle. Cool. And then next we'll just do with, or basically, if child if instance exists child, then we'll also update the child. Very nice, very nice. Okay, that's basically it already. Now all we need to do is to implement these tentacles here. So let's implement one test tentacle. Test tentacle equals instance create layer. Ba-ba. And we'll put that on the traps layer. Yeah, that's correct. Tentacle, and then with test tentacle do event user 0. That will create the rest of the tentacle. And then we'll update the tentacle position. And maybe test tentacle.image angle equals or not random, but 180. Okay, that should give us some sort of result. Let's check it out. Jirasta, teach me senpai. Okay, I'll try. Here, this is how it's done. Look at that. Seems like we got stuck in an infinite loop. Why did that happen? That's kind of why I have this part variable. Every part of the tentacle should have a slightly higher variable. And then as soon as it's higher than 3, it shouldn't execute this code here anymore. Shouldn't create any new parts. So that's a little strange. Why does it still happen? Let's say show message. Okay. Okay, the issue seems to be with event user 1. Okay, so no problem here. Okay. What's the problem here though? Strange, strange, strange. One, two, three, three, three. Why does it get stuck on 3? Okay, whatever. What if we do it like this? Okay. I think that worked. Why did they not have the correct color? That's interesting. So let's get rid of this. One thing I want to do for creating here is also let's give them the same image angle. The tentacles are not moving along yet. That is very fixable. Very strange that they do not have the correct color.
Make humans great.
Okay, forgetting little things here and there. We need to update that tentacle and do actually... Oh, oopsie doopsie, okay. Now it will be perfect. Mwah. Very true to nature, yes. What the hell? Why is that last part of the tentacle so far further away? Also, it starts looking a little bit like a snake instead of an octopus. No, what's going on with that last part of that tentacle? Why? It makes no sense. Okay, let's make the tentacle even longer to see if we can spot a pattern. Probably needs to be somewhere here in the update function. It doesn't make any sense. Awesome snake. Oh, come on, it's not a snake. You just can't see the octopus yet. Okay, all of the parts are correct except for the last one. That is so strange. But this will look cool once we start moving these tentacles. I hope. What's going on with the last one? That's weird. Hmm. I mean, the position is clearly updated. Right? Otherwise, it wouldn't move at all. Yeah, now all of them are on top of each other. What if we make a very small distance? I need some boss music. Doesn't feel like a boss fight without it, yeah. True. Okay, for some reason the last part is just twice as far away, which is extremely weird.
Did you do that on purpose? Certainly looked like it.
Okay, let's fulfill Jan's wish and change this music into something that is a little more boss worthy, even though it's maybe not all that fitting for this specific boss fight. Let's just use our... which music do we have? BPP. Disco, blah blah blah. Yeah. Let's try this. Does this feel more like boss fight? Otherwise, I can't be bothered to spend any more time on this. We're not exactly working on the look at the moment, Jan. We're mostly trying to get the gameplay down, but I obviously appreciate your feedback. And you're obviously right with what you say. Okay, that music feels a little more boss fighty, I guess. Now, why is there a bug? That is a very interesting question. Because literally I set the position exactly to X plus and not to anything else. Why can't it be... why? How can it end up somewhere else? That is beyond my capability of understanding what the hell's going on. Really, really strange. This should cause an error. Or it will fix the issue. No, it causes an error. Very nice. I mean, why? Okay, let's give the other parts of the tentacles random rotations. Maybe that makes it more obvious what's going on. Obviously need to put it to something like 160, otherwise looks like they're all stacked on top of each other, which is weird. And here once again the last one is just not connected. Already I can imagine how this will look like when it's finally working. And I think it will look quite cool, but come on, why is it not working? What's going on with that last piece of that tail? Even if it's just placeholder music, it will get me in the right mood while testing. Yeah, you're probably right. Okay, so the way the tail works at the moment is that I have a giant parent-child structure, right, where every part of the tail is parented into the last part of the tail. And what I'm trying to do here is to go through all of the tail objects one after another and just set the child object to the correct position, and after that I'll execute this exact same code for the child object, so the child of the child will set its child to the correct position. I know probably sounds a little confusing, but it's basically very simple. Great. Now I bookmarked this. No idea how to undo that, but who cares? I mean, we can try a weird hotfix. But I have no idea why that hotfix is required in the first place. So what if we just do half of the distance for the last part? That should not work. If it works, it's strange. Everything's strange. Oh, it did not work. It almost feels like there's one invisible piece in that chain. Right? One invisible piece is somehow missing. Very interesting. Where's the invisible piece? Tentacle length at the moment is 5, and we create these tentacles as long as it's under 5. So we should have 5 pieces, and I think I saw 5 pieces, so I think there's no invisible piece in the scene. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yes. That is definitely one of the weirdest bugs I've seen lately. That's so strange. Okay, let's try something new. Maybe it will help us to figure out what's going on. Plus it will show us how this stuff will look in action. wait a second, we need... Could that have anything to do with it? Is the last one maybe just placed in the wrong direction? Yeah, that could actually be the case. Because it has the same distance to that joint. Actually, a rotating tentacle would be fun as well, then you need to dodge that every time it comes to your side. I can see that working as well. See, this bug already gave us a couple of cool ideas. Already this looks a lot more boss-worthy. I like it, because you actually need to get quite close to deal some damage. And then you have to dodge those tentacles. That could be fun. Now here though, it doesn't look like it's just the wrong direction. It looks once again like the distance is just too high. Weird, 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 weird. And also I want all of these pieces to be able to rotate individually. So what we need to do is set a rotation variable. And then here we'll increase the rotation variable by 1. And in the update function, we can set child.image angle to image. Dang, this is getting a little confusing. Image angle plus child.rotation. That's it. That's what I was looking for. Child.rotation equals, or we can just put that into even user 0, where we just say rotation equals image angle. Okay, now all of these are rotating. And once again, the tail just looks like there's one missing chain in the connection. Why is there a missing chain in the connection? I'm sure I've already spent like half an hour wondering about this. But it's just so strange. I can't figure it out. Also, one interesting question is, why is the first part of the chain not rotating? I think I know why, because I'm updating the child here. What if we just say image angle equals parent.image angle? if instance exists parent, then we'll do this. Otherwise we'll set image angle to rotation. You could decrease the size of the later parts a bit. Yeah, that's definitely a good idea. What the hell? What is it doing? Oh my god. No, 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 no. Why? Why? I don't understand. Is there a problem with this line? Probably. Hey, Brown Rice. You've mostly missed setting up the basics of this boss fight and then me searching for a bug for half an hour. And now, as it seems like we managed to create a new bug. Weird. Child.image angle. So that's what I had before, right? Before I had image angle plus child dot rotation. Those two lines should do exactly the same, or am I stupid? This line should do exactly the same as this line. The image angle of this object will be set to the image angle of the parent plus the rotation of this object. Or we can also set the one of the child to the image angle of this object plus the rotation of, yeah, that's exactly the same. Just for the child object instead of for this object. The tentacles, they were a mistake. Hey, good night, Stepper. Thanks for stopping by. Looks like it's trying to make a swastika. What is that? Yeah, why does it work like this? I don't understand. A quick look here. So this only updates the position of the first tentacle and then tells it to update itself. That's all we do here. Mm-hmm. 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 But at the very least, the first part of the chain shouldn't rotate if we do it like this, right? The first part of the chain should still be static and fixed. No, not? Why not? What is the parent set to in the first part of the chain? Parent is set to -1. That should absolutely not exist. I don't even set the parent here when I create this tentacle, so why does it execute? Is it a game maker bug? Maybe? What if I say if parent is unequal -1? I don't know, maybe -1 is a valid ID for an object. I'd be surprised by that. But maybe it is. Oh yeah, it was. What the hell? Okay, I guess then at the very least we can make this work. But that weird gap still remains. Or can we maybe solve it like this as well? Maybe. No, I obviously cannot. That obviously needs to stay like this. Only thing I could try to change is this. What will it do this time? Okay, surprise, all of the parts are rotating. Looks like the last one is offset by its own rotation on top of the other rotation. This does not offset twice though. One thing that would be very weird is if some object somehow has itself as a child. Okay, so if that is the case, it will just show us a message with I'm my own child. That's the only explanation I have. but I don't have an explanation for how that could happen. I'm afraid this boss battle will take a while. No, actually we made pretty good progress. Until we started to implement the tentacles. Like, it's literally just that one bug that's really holding me back right now. Because I can't keep it like this. This doesn't look, no, this doesn't feel right. It's really bothering me a lot. You know that when sometimes there's a bug in your game and you just can't think about anything else until you've managed to resolve it. Okay, so there's no object that has itself as a child. Then how the hell can this happen? Oh, jeez. Just starting to get headaches from this. You don't have any ideas either, I assume. Well, what a pity. I mean, the rotation is not the problem. It was even a problem before we implemented the rotation. It's gotta have something to do with with this. Strange. Also, my voice is starting to leave me. Maybe we should just leave it at that and I'll figure it out by myself. Well, I'm really running out of ideas. Like what if I just type something like plus 100 plus 100, then they should all be, then all of the pivots should be offset by 100 each. But even if I do that, the last one is definitely more than 100 away. Somehow this code is executed twice for the last object. Isn't that strange? Is that the parent to this? And the child is set to the newly created object. Okay. 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 And then I do the same for the child. And once that is longer than the tentacle length, I don't do that anymore. So everybody should have a correct parent-child structure set up. That should, in theory, still have the same result, but earlier this was not working, so let's try that again. Yeah, why is that not working? Somehow it returns true when clearly this should not return true. That feels like a game maker bug, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. What exactly was the error message there? Let's have a look. You would just recode the tentacles. It's not that much to code anyway. Yeah, but then we would end up with the same code because I would write it in exactly the same way again. But you're right, sometimes recoding helps. Variable reference invalid object. In line 9, where we set the position. It's so weird. In this line, he doesn't know this object, but in line 8 he does. Or what's going on? Okay, I guess we can pack that in there, that we only execute that code if the child exists. Okay, at the very least we don't have any error messages with that anymore. Oh my god, are they spaced out properly? Are my eyes seeing this correctly? What the hell? I have no idea what I just changed. Oh, what the hell? It's working! Oh my god! Nice! Finally! Jesus Christ. Oh, that was hard. Okay. Now what would what do we do with this? We wasted a lot of time, so I'm not sure we'll be able to finish the rest of this boss fight now. The HP bar is quite out of place, which looks weird. Let's fix that real quick. Very nice. I have no idea why that wasn't working, it's so strange. Okay, but main thing, it's working now, so that's something. We'll start x and x plus 200 minus 150 and minus 120. Okay. Is the HP bar at the correct position now again? Let's hope so. Tentacle crisis has ended, Gear Wheel. I think the boss should have multiple tentacles. Yeah, I mean, these tentacles already have colliders, so would probably be cool if you can destroy them. Except for the tentacles that don't allow you to get past that boss. Okay, now that these tentacles are working and now that the HP bar... Oh no, the HP bar is not quite lined up correctly. Okay, let's do something like... x minus 10, x plus 170. Now that these tentacles are working, let's try to block the way with these tentacles. Oh, and we wanted them to get smaller step by step, right? Guess we can do that as well real quick. That should be quite easy. You just have to set the length to 160 here. And then we'll have to use the length here. Definitely nicer anyway. And here we can just say child.image x scale equals image x scale times 0.8. Same for y scale and same for length. And to compensate for that, maybe we can make it one part longer. Level should be generally much larger, you think? I'm not sure. Wanted to make a relatively short but difficult boss fight. Definitely feels like it's over a little too quickly, maybe. So maybe we should make it a little longer. Maybe. Too cramped right now. Oh, at first they could shield the core of the tentacles. That's an interesting idea as well. Spraying ink, yeah, that has already been suggested. I think we will add that as well. Oh no, how's it going? It's going quite well. I just fixed one really annoying bug, but now the tentacles are working. Woo! Okay, so that's definitely a lot of useful input. Okay, let's create one tentacle that's facing upwards. So those will be the ones that are just blocking your way. The one that's facing up will have rotation 90, and the one that's facing down will have rotation 270. Okay, maybe we should sort this a little bit and put things together that belong together. And same goes for this one. And then the question is how we'll animate that properly. That's definitely one thing we'll have to think about a little bit. First of all, we might want to get rid of that completely random start rotation. And just set that to something like 10 minus random 20 instead, so it's not completely straight. And for that animation, we'll have to find something that works a little better as well. Let's check it out. Ah, once the tentacles are destroyed, they could squirt ink at you. Oh, that's super smart because that's always a problem. If you can destroy parts of the boss, it can quite easily happen that it feels less climactic, right? Okay, we need to update the down tentacle as well, and did not do that properly here. And the down tentacle is this one. I feel like I didn't set the rotations properly. Yeah, no, I think I did. But it did not look correct. Let's see. Okay, yeah, that looks correct. Now we just need to animate those. And there should be no way to get past these, am I correct? Yeah. Okay, very nice. Interesting. So I think it would be pretty cool if we could just give each of these tentacle parts a little sign animation, something like that. Would work decently well. Okay, let's just set the rotation of each of these to 0 at the beginning. Because then we can just add a time variable here. And then here we'll say time plus plus, and we'll say rotation equals, oh, we gotta choose some random values for this. Otherwise they'll all move simultaneously, we don't want that. And the rotation will be sine time divided by 50 times 10. Let's check it out. Looks already fun. Well, glad to hear that. What the hell are you doing, bro? That looks creepy. Okay, that was not exactly what I wanted. but it's kinda cool anyway. Like, try shooting him like that, right? Okay, I think they need to save some sort of base rotation, because then we can set the rotation to base rotation plus this. And then here, for example, we can, when we create these, we can set their base rotation to the correct angle. And then in theory, you should be able to get rid of that here again, if I'm not mistaken. Let's check it out. We have had so many broken bosses already. What if we don't get rid of this? Just wondering. Why is this happening? I don't understand. What happens if we do it like this? Let's just experiment and see what the correct numbers for this are. Yeah, this is the dude that just faces forward. What if we set this to 180? Then they should be in the other direction, right? Okay, why is one in this direction and the other one in the other direction? Oh my god, these bosses look so weird when I mess them up. What am I doing? No. Look, those tentacles have exactly the same parameters. How can they look different? Huh? Ah, no. I didn't set that variable properly. Oopsie doopsie. Jonas did an oopsie. So now if we do it like this, now it should be correct, right? Now it will be correct. And we'll have the basics of this boss fight down, finally. Come on. Give me a beautiful boss. Yes, thank you. Very nice, very nice, very nice. Now the question is, can we create tentacles he's using for his protection? And also another very interesting question is, oops, what does the performance say? Oh. Performance doesn't look super brilliant.
Yo, this
Okay, we're already at something like 450 frames per second, which is not as good as I would like it to be, because this is a pretty good PC, and you never know what's gonna happen on other PCs. One more reason why I think that the room should be larger. All your boss rooms have the size right now. A larger room would make this one stand out more. Is that really the case? Because the disco boss fight is a lot higher, and the first boss fight is just a small square. So this is the first one that is a little wider. But I guess you're right in the fact that if we would make this maybe even wider, then it would probably be even more unique. I don't want to make this boss fight too long, but I guess I can also just make the boss move faster if we make the level longer. One thing I want to try real quick is how this performs if we compile it, or if we can even compile it. Sometimes that doesn't work. Sometimes I will probably have to fix a couple of bugs. Or does it compile? Oh no, it does not compile. Okay, then never mind. I'll have to fix a couple of bugs first. Because I'm a little worried about the performance, and probably most of the performance overload is coming from these, or a lot of it is probably coming from these sine functions. They eat up quite a bit of performance, surprisingly. Okay, now one of the problems I have is, how do I spawn tentacles that kind of have a curvature? There's a problem I think I'll be able to figure out. So first of all, these tentacles will be placed. Okay, I don't set their position here, but they should probably face a little further backwards. 110, 110, 250, 250, something like that. Oop! Down, 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 down. Let's move them closer to the center. And now the problem is that they will be very straight, and I want them to be kind of curved to protect the head of the boss. Guess I did a spelling mistake somewhere. Up. Down. Down. No spelling mistakes. Okay, so what's going on? No, start this in debug mode. No. Just start it normally, please. Okay, now we're talking. And now I want the two back tentacles to have a curvature to go to the front. I kind of like the look of that though. And once again, the performance. How much did the performance tank? Oh, not even all that much. Okay, interesting. That didn't even, adding those 2 tentacles didn't even cost that much additional performance. That's a little weird, but I'll take it. And I think what we need now is a creation curvature. And by default, that will be set to 0. And then here, whenever we create something, we'll just set this to creation curvature. And that should already pretty much solve my problem. Because now, when I create these tentacles, I can give them a curvature. Equals... How much curvature does this need? Let's try -20. And here let's try 20. Bring it on. If you want to know how it will work on other computers, you can send me... Oh, Fabian, that's absolutely fantastic, because I actually don't really have a good way to test it on bad machines. If you have a bad computer at home, then you can definitely help me test this. Are you in the Discord server? I mean, it's not my primary focus right now, but I'm pretty sure I'll be looking for playtesters once all of the chapters are done. All right. Why did it not work? We need to set their base rotation as well. The one of the child, that is. And we also need to pass the creation curvature onwards to the childs. And now it will work. I'm 100% sure. Why are sign functions so spicy in GameMaker? Actually, I think they're always a little spicy, if I'm not mistaken. But also maybe it wasn't. Maybe it's not the sign functions. Maybe it's just that this level is a little big and I have projectiles. I mean, these projectiles here probably eat a bit of performance as well because they all have collision checking. Oops. And also, I mean, usually for something like 400 frames per second, I would say no problem, sounds very good. I just met the experience in the past that for some reason it still doesn't run properly on some machines, but that might have been something with the shaders. So let's hope that's not a problem. Once again, I did not set this correctly. Why am I so stupid? Okay, nice. Now it has the correct kind of curvature. Just doesn't really protect itself with those tentacles. The rotation needs to be more something like 60 minus 60 then, I guess. Yeah, guess that's more or less what we were talking about, right? We need to get rid of those tentacles first. Oh, or you can just try to get in here if you dare. But that's probably a bit risky as well. Nice, but that boss already looks like something, doesn't it? So I wonder how this will play if we just don't allow the player to touch the tentacles. I bet that will already make it quite challenging. Let's try that out real quick. Duplicate event, collision with tentacle. Yeah, that's it. Very nice. Oh, yeah. And the tentacles should also block shots. Collision with minigame, shooter, projectile with other do instance destroy, and then if we want we can make them destructible later on. But for now let's just tell them to block projectiles. Yeah, we definitely should add some tentacles in the back. I thought about that as well. Yeah, that already makes it quite tricky. One thing that just came to my mind is we should probably, before we create all of that, we should set the seed. So the animation looks always the same. Seed, blah, blah. Otherwise it wouldn't really be fair. Let's check it out. Ooh, jeez. Going in there is very risky. Not being able to destroy those tentacles would be interesting as well. Because then you always need to decide, do you want to go in there or do you want to wait until the tentacles open again? Or I guess they could just take a while to destroy, so there are different strategies to beat that boss. Maybe you don't want to destroy the tentacles because then you You'll have to fight against the ink as well. And Jan is probably right, we should probably try to make this level a little longer. For a boss fight it might feel a little short. Now it's already quite difficult to defeat that. Should we add some decoration tentacles in the back real quick? Let's add 2 more, why not? These. My naming conventions. Too lazy to do math, okay. Maybe not. Up and then another one down. And that one is 360 minus that, which is, never do math on stream, 200 20, yeah. That is correct, I hope. We'll see. Down, down, down. Now all we need to do is update those two in the step event. Which I'm sure there are better ways to do this than with copy pasting code. Maybe making a nice array with them. But yeah, sometimes I'm just too lazy. Okay. Jan giving me another idea for an attack move. Yeah, that sounds interesting. A dash, I've thought about that as well. So I mean it would take those tentacles back and then basically shoot forward. We have another risk-reward moment where you have to decide, do you want to run away or do you want to try to get a couple of shots in? That's a good idea. Okay. Looks a little weird, a little off maybe. Maybe we can find a way to make this look a little more cool. Let's see what happens if we curve those tentacles a little bit. Those curvatures look cool. Maybe they should be curved in the other direction though. Or they should be curved even further. Let's go for that one first. Oh, that definitely looks octopus-ish. Okay, let's try carving them in the other direction. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, for that the curvature is definitely too strong. Yeah, I mean that looks decent. Maybe these these arms that go sideways could use a little bit of curvature as well. Now that I'm thinking about it. What if they have something like 10 minus 10 as well? That could help a little bit. Okay, I think, oops, what? Is that not working? I think we'll end the stream here. So if you have any more questions or suggestions, then please feel free to post them in the chat and I'll be reading the chat for a couple more minutes. Definitely was fun. I'm very happy we managed to make this work. And also I think that once again looks a lot better with curved arms. How many arms do octopuses have? You probably need 2 more. 8 sounds like a reasonable number. Take it. Oh, I could have made it on the platform. I mean, if you play as risky as that, then the level length is more than enough. Yeah, pretty tricky. Pretty tricky to defeat that. I don't think it's possible at the moment, honestly. Because if you play it out, more carefully, then you'll just be crushed to the wall. Yeah, not possible to beat that, but already looks pretty cool and fun. I'm very happy with the result for today. Okay, yeah, octopus, oh, 8, yeah, that makes sense. Could look good to have the forward curve on the back ones. Yeah, I mean that's the idle position of an octopus, right? When he's trying to protect himself, he has the arms at the front. When an octopus is swimming, usually the arms are at the back due to water friction, and also that's the way they swim. So I'm not sure. I mean, if all of them are at the front, it looks a little weird. It looks like, how the hell is this thing swimming to me? You know what I mean? And then 2 more that go pretty much backwards. Yeah, maybe 2 tentacles for swimming is enough. I don't know. Could be. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. Okay, if there are no more questions, then I guess we can end it here. If you have any more ideas for this boss fight, then just come back tomorrow. I think we'll finish this off tomorrow. And I hope we'll be able to finish the entire water chapter off this week. There are a couple of puzzle levels still missing. I need to implement a bit of lore. And then the entire water chapter will be done, and we can move on to the winter chapter. And one thing I'm a little frustrated by is that both the underwater chapter as well as the winter chapter have very cold color schemes. So I'm wondering if I should something in between those, something a little warmer, because I don't know how it feels to have 2 color schemes that are very cool, very cold right after one another. So yeah, we'll have to figure that out. Cool. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Hope you enjoyed. I definitely did. Peace.